I'm doing now is show you how our product, which is Him Fertility, ties into all these different layers and kind of demonstrate what I went through when I created it, what I was looking at, and the processes that I wanted to really impact on. This isn't a case of I just tried to dump a bunch of ingredients in a capsule and sell it. We've gone through each molecular process, and that's what we're working on. So what I'm going to show you in this video is how this product links into what we call the brain hormone axis, which is one of the really key parts. We're then going to look at how this product actually works in the actual testicles when it comes to sperm production. And then we're finally going to look at the molecular integrity of sperm cells, because they actually go through a lot more work than people realize. And our product is designed to aid every step of the way with this, and that's what we're going to try and explain here. So what I thought we would start with is going through what we call the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, the HPG axis. Now, this hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis is the main control system that regulates male fertility. Now, this axis depends on the release of a hormone called GnRH, GN, gonadotropin, RH, releasing hormone. A lot of things in science are a lot more simple than they make out. So GnRH is produced in the hypothalamus, which is a region of the brain that integrates signals like stress, energy availability, sleep, and hormone feedback. We've got a lot of what we call negative and positive feedback loops in our brain. So GnRH is going to help to stimulate the pituitary gland, which sits just below the hypothalamus, to release luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, LH, FSH. And these ultimately drive testosterone production and sperm development. Now, key ingredients within Him Fertility are designed to support this signaling environment. In particular, we start with one of the primary first ones, which is D-aspartic acid. Now, D-aspartic acid is an amino acid naturally present in the brain and the testes, and it plays a role in signaling pathways that stimulate the release of GnRH and luteinizing hormone. Effectively, it's supporting the upstream trigger to create increased testosterone. Now, alongside that, we also use ashwagandha, which is a well-studied adaptogen. Now, adaptogens are compounds that help the body to regulate stress responses. So since things like chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone which is produced by the adrenal glands and it sits just on top of the kidneys, cortisol can suppress GnRH. And as a result, by using ashwagandha, we're protecting that fertility axis. And this is when they say stress can kill fertility. That's what they're referring to. Now, another key ingredient, vitamin B6, and this is a neurotransmitter. And what it does is it helps to regulate hypothalamic signaling, which indirectly influences GnRH release. We then talk about key ones you hear a lot, which is iodine and selenium, and these support thyroid hormone production, and they help to regulate your metabolic rate, which directly influences hypothalamic function and reproductive hormone signaling. Now, together, these ingredients help to control the core part of fertility by ensuring the right signals within the brain are being sent out so that everything else can do its job. So the next section we look at is what we call the actual testosterone production and hormone balance. And what we're going to do here is we're going to move down a little bit from the brain down to the actual testicles, and we're going to look at what we call the Leydig cells. And these are the cells within the testicles that actually produce testosterone. Now, testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol through a multi-step enzymatic process, just lots of enzymes. This process requires what we call cofactors, and these are vitamins and minerals that allow enzymes to actually do their job effectively. Now, key ones we're going to look at is zinc, which is really essential for enzymes involved in the synthesis of testosterone, and it also plays a role in regulating aromatase, which is an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. Another key one is vitamin D3. Now, technically, this is a hormone precursor rather than a vitamin. However, precursor just means it happens to allow a function to occur. So this is going to interact with receptors within the Leydig cells, and that in itself is associated with healthy production of testosterone. We then also use boron, and what boron does is it binds to a hormone called SHBG, sex hormone binding globin, SHBG. Basically, SHBG runs around the blood, grabbing all the testosterone it can find, holds onto it, stores it for a rainy day. We don't want it stored for a rainy day, we want it now. So by lowering SHBG, we increase testosterone. We then look at shilajit. Shilajit is a mineral-rich compound which contains fulvic acids, and it's been studied for its role in supporting mitochondrial function and testosterone production. So this collection supports hormone production and balance, ensuring testosterone is produced efficiently, and most importantly, it's available for the body to use it and not bound with a whole load of SHBG, holding it for a rainy day when that rainy day is already upon us. So we're now going to look at the actual process of spermatogenesis, which is building the sperm cells. Now, spermatogenesis is the process of making sperm inside the seminiferous tubules. And this is one of the most biologically demanding processes that the body's going to go through because it requires rapid cell division, DNA replication, and structural transformation into sperm cells. It requires constant cellular energy and nutrient availability. As a result, we're going to focus on the different ingredients that are going to support that. So we've got folate and vitamin B12. Now, these are involved in the synthesis of DNA and the methylation, a process required for proper genetic replication in developing sperm cells. Because when your sperm cells are developing, they're replicating, they're sharing that DNA, we want that DNA to be of the best quality we can get. So we then look at other B vitamins, and we've got B1, B2, B3, and B5. And these are all critical for cellular energy metabolism. They help convert nutrients into ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, and that's kind of like the energy molecule that the entire body runs on. It's the energy currency required for cell division and development. We then also look at iron, copper, and manganese. Now, these are minerals that are involved in enzymatic systems that support cellular metabolism and antioxidant defense during the sperm development. And alongside that, we look at maca root. We've got all three, red, black, and yellow. And these are supported traditionally for reproductive health. And it's thought that sperm production is able to be improved as these have similar adaptogenic effects to elements like ashwagandha. Now, this whole group is supporting the production line of sperm. So we've got that process signaling the creation. We're now on the actual production line and we're boosting it forward. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the actual mitochondrial function and sperm motility, because you often hear an expression, sperm motility and mobility. And this is what we're now looking at. Because once sperm are produced, they need to move, and that requires energy. If you've ever seen a picture of them under a microscope, they're wiggling away at 1,000 miles an hour. They've got places to be, things to do. They need a lot of energy for that. Now, in the mid piece of a sperm cell, it's packed with mitochondria, and they generate ATP that I already mentioned is that energy production, or that energy that we're using. And this is where key ingredients now link in. One of the most important is coenzyme Q10, and this is a key component of the mitochondrial electron transport chain. And this is a system that actually creates ATP. It directly supports cellular energy production. Next, we look at acetyl L-carnitine, and what this does is it transports fatty acids into the mitochondria, allowing that mitochondria to use them for energy production. This is incredibly important in sperm cells because, as you can imagine, as I've said, they're doing 1,000 things, they're traveling, they've got a lot to do, they need that energy. So those two key ingredients there are massively important, and that's why we put such high dosages in, because we really need to create that energy for fertility to be effective. You know, I've got a long way to swim. To find that egg, to fertilize it, that takes a ton of energy. So we're now going to look at how do we actually protect the sperm, and this is a molecular level that we're looking at. Sperm cells are incredibly vulnerable to what we call oxidative stress. And this is damage in the body that occurs by things called reactive oxygen species, ROS. Now, ROS often occurs from things like chronic inflammation, infection, etc. And what it can do is it can affect the DNA integrity, membrane structure, and the motility of the sperm itself. So what we've done is we've put a really potent, comprehensive antioxidant system in place, starting with vitamin C, and this is going to protect against oxidative damage in a fluid environment, which is really key when it's trying to find that egg. Vitamin E, that protects the lipid membrane of the sperm cell. So you've got this outer lipid membrane, and vitamin E is going to help to protect it to minimize any damage. Selenium is going to support glutathione, which is a key antioxidant enzyme that we're looking at. We've then got lycopene and astaxanthin, and these are potent carotenoid antioxidants that integrate into the cell membrane and provide further support. And alongside that, we've got resveratrol, which is going to support cellular defense systems and the mitochondrial health. So what we have all together is these ingredients are going to work to protect the sperm at a molecular level, preserving its function and its integrity. Now, what this formation and this formulation really reflects is a simple idea. Male fertility is not a single pathway, it's a system. So instead of targeting one thing, which a lot of products do, they target one area, we targeted all of them, because why wouldn't you? Anyone that studied science, that works in the industry, goes, well, if you've got a problem, you don't just fix one area, you find all the areas that are linked to it and you fix them all. And that's what we're trying to do. So I hope you found this video somewhat helpful, and I do apologize, I've waffled on a little bit. We were trying to make it as short as we can. My wife said under 5 minutes, here we are at 12 minutes. So I do apologize for that. But hopefully you've now understood a little bit about how this product works, what it's trying to achieve. And if you've got any more questions, please put them below and we'll answer them as soon as we can, and we'll give you all that information that you need. Thank you ever so much for watching.